I grew up in a very chaotic home. I had a pretty traumatic childhood. I experienced a lot of trauma, a lot of child sexual abuse, and I was very isolated. I learned two things at a very young age. People both in and out of my home could not be trusted, and I had no voice, not one that anyone was going to listen to. It caused me to leave home at the age of 13. It was just as a matter of survival. I got caught up in sex trafficking as a teenager, and I ended up going to prison for the first time at the age of 18, a crack and heroin addict. I stayed caught in the cycle of addiction and darkness and everything that goes along with that life on the streets for about 25 years. In 2015, I found myself in jail. Didn't know if God really existed, but I cried out to him, ultimately began to experience a sense of peace that contradicted the circumstances I found myself in. And it didn't make any sense to me, but ultimately it led to my surrendering my life to Christ during that time in jail, and then I found myself on my way to prison for the third time.
Here at Beyond Fear to Freedom, our goal is to see generations healed, one life, one heart, one family member at a time. One of the things that we have come and understood is that we can't give what we don't have, and if we ourselves don't have healing, how can we extend that to our families? Cycles have been something that has overcome our generations forever. I had generational cycles in my family, even before with my dad and his family. And we have a voice here at Beyond Fear to Freedom. We give people the opportunity to speak of their hurts, to talk about these cycles without the fear of being judged and just being able to be who they are.
I got out of prison in 2017, and I found myself in a transitional living home called For His Glory Only. One of the only requirements that they had was that I had to go to this thing called BFF. And I didn't know what BFF was, but they explained it to me as a community of women that got together and talked about their problems. And have you ever tried to give a cat a bath? That is how I felt about being part of any community of a bunch of women just coming out of prison. I didn't want any part of that.
And I just watched her, and she'd be like this, talking to nobody ain't gonna do nothing. And she just sat like this, just sat like this, just sat like this.
So I was really, really angry. I didn't want to be here. I came in the door kicking and screaming. I wouldn't talk to anybody. I absolutely was not gonna talk about any of my issues. You guys can talk about your issues. I don't have any. I'm good. So that is how I felt about BFF, and I was very angry, just mad.
And I said to my spirit, girl, one of these days you're gonna go from like this to like this to like this and then like that.
These things that had been done to me, that it's awful. It's not nice to talk about. It's not fun, but you can't heal what you don't reveal, and BFF provided me with the ability to come in here and just honestly talk about it with people that we have the same issues. I hated to admit that, but it was absolutely true. We had the same issues. We may come from all different walks of life. We may have all different kinds of backgrounds, but at the end of the day, we come here together to share lives together and to do our life together. Community is one of the most important things that we need in this lifetime to heal from some of the stuff that we've been through. Just the sense of being in community, and you're not so alone as the Lord is equipping you to look back at some of the damage you may have inflicted on other people, because you're responsible for your own healing. This is true, but you've also inflicted damage on other people in your dysfunction. BFF equips you with the tools that you need to then reach back and be accountable for that and take responsibility for that as well.
And one of the wonderful things that we had seen is Jesus Christ just breaking her down and restoring her piece by piece. In that, we got to know her a little bit, only to find out that she had 2 daughters. And when I found that out, I was just like, Lord, please, allow her the opportunity to witness to her daughters and do the things that I know only you can do, and that is to redeem the generation that she had left behind. And to watch and to see that happen has been an incredible journey with her.
I've always wanted to have a relationship with her, but I always thought it wasn't possible because of the lifestyle that she lived. 5 years ago when I met her, made me really question my relationship with God, because I would pray for her to have guidance and strength, wisdom to pull her out of the situation that she was in, the lifestyle that she lived, and I would get no answers, like my prayers were unheard. So it really made me lose faith. But now that I see her today, I see that she's persevered and became the best version of herself that she can possibly be, because I can actually have a relationship with her where I feel comfortable and I can talk to her about absolutely anything. She's more than my mother, more like my best friend. And there's honestly no greater gift from God than to be able to carry a relationship with her that I have. And I'm just very grateful to God that He healed her and brought her out of that situation, so that way we can build our relationship more than it is.
I want my daughters to remember me as the woman who allowed the Lord to transform me in ways that I was incapable of doing for myself. I want them to know that they were worth fighting for, and that I was passionate about grabbing hold of my own healing with both hands so that I could, in turn, help them heal. And I wanted them to know that I never gave up and that they should never give up either, because God is good, life is good, and He works all things together for good.